Hello everyone, welcome to my presentation. Today I would like to talk about the fiber reinforced materials which used to strengthen reinforced concrete structures. First, I want to give a brief introduction to fiber polymeric materials and concrete structures. And the first is about the fiber polymer materials. This is a high strength monofilament fibers. And as shown in these pictures, fiber reinforced materials have strong tensile strengths, and because of the properties of this material has a strong corrosion resistance, that this material can effectively confine concrete and reduce the probability of cracks. The next part is about the reinforcement of concrete structures. This is a current mainstream from the construction and building materials. In this structure, the steel bars mainly bear the tensile actions, and the concrete bears the concassive actions. And additionally, the distractions of the reinforced concrete generally begin with the cracking of the external concrete. And the next part is about the reason why this research questions deserve our attention. And because the current reinforced concrete structures is widely used in the world, therefore it takes a lot of money when the structure is damaged and needs to be repaired, because this needs to ensure that the overall strength of the repaired structures can also have a premium level. And the next part is about a summary of all the literature. In general, the reference of the reinforced concrete structures by fiber reinforced materials can be divided into two methods. The first is reinforcement of the concrete, and the second one is about the reinforcement of steel bars. And the first one, I'd like to talk about the reinforcement of concrete. The first method is to wrap the external of the concrete with a strip which made by polymetric materials. The second method is to add fiber polymetric materials to concrete making process. And however, there also have limitations about this method. And the first is external applied fibers polymetric materials is limited by the durability of the adhesive. The most important danger now is exposure, but it is greatly affected by light. When the illumination time is long or strong, the failure of the adhesion is felt. And the next part is about the reinforcement of the steel bars. There are two ways to use it, and the first one is the fiber polymetric materials can be made into a bar replacement steel bars, and the second one is the bond of the fibrous polymetric materials can replace the effect of the strips and the fiber of the strips, and the corrosion resistance of the fiber reinforced materials can solve the problems of corrosion failure of steel bars, and it increases the tension strength ability, can also replace the bedding effect of the strips on the concrete. And however, it still has limitations. This document focuses only on improvement in steel bars. The most important problem is that the cracking of the concrete does not solve the acceleration of the concretions. And the next part is about the questions I've researched, and my design is to replace the steel bars with figure glasses, primer bars, and an epoxy rinse or the steel fiber polymer or both are added to the concrete. Such combining structures can greatly increase the durability and the corrosion resistance of the structures. My experimental method is to set up this group separately, and the experimental models of this group are identical in that they are referenced concrete beams, and the stringent experiments were performed on this group, and the strength on the structures was analyzed. And the second is correlation experimentals were preferred on the sample of all the groups, and the correlation of the internal steel bars was detected by 3D snaking. And that's my research is to solve the problems of reinforcement of concrete after the replacement of the steel bars with fiber reinforced materials. And the core of this problem is to solve the corrosion damage of the reinforced concrete materials. Moreover, the bar made of the fiber polymerized materials has good corrosion resistance, but the cracking of the concrete still causes the accelerations of the concretion. Therefore, I recommended that add the exposed rings to the concrete and making a bar using glasses fiber polymer materials. Because of the good bending effect between the excise rings and some other materials can effectively increase the flexural strength of the concrete and reduce the water absorption effect. And additionally, these elements can increase the durability of the concrete, which can make the concrete structures not easy to crack, and the product to the internal steel bars from the corrosions. And the next part is this part is about the method of the text for all the groups, and my method and my design also have some limitations, and I'm only a combination of the glass fiber reinforced plastic and the exposed rings concrete has been studied. There are also many types of the fiber polymetric materials and concrete fusion that have not been tested. And thank you for your listen my presentation. That's all.